Welcome to Tennis Spin, where we put our spin on your tennis. Today, we're going to do a demo day with Tenx. Stay tuned. All right, guys. So we're on the court. We're doing a Tenx demo day because I feel like more people should be trying these rackets. So we're on the court right now. We got Coach Chris over here. We got Dan the man over here, my man Dan. We got the other Coach Chris right over there. We got Coach Jerod over there. We got my buddy Jerry. And then we got Daniel right there. So I'm gonna have them try out the Tenx rackets and show you some highlights of when they play. And we're gonna ask them which ones they like better and why. All right, my buddy Daniel over here. Which Tenx did you like and why?
I like the Excalibur 398. Super light racket, easy to generate on the forehand side, a lot of power. On the backhand side, also very stable on the backhand side, a lot of power. And the throw's really narrow, so I like the throw, and it's very light racket, so that's why I like the Tenx.
What's your normal racket?
The MP head.
The MP, which MP head?
MP light.
Which one? What's the?
Radical.
Radical MP light.
So
Radical
like,
MP.
It plays like the Radical MP. Super light, easy generating power, and very stable.
Okay. Would you play with that racket?
Definitely would play with this racket and give someone out there a chance to play with this racket and try it out. And if they like it, give it a shot.
Okay. Would you? If I told you that was a pro level racket that was meant for, like pro level players, they call that a pro stock. Would you believe me?
I would not actually.
What? Why not?
It's like, I don't know, it's super light, but I don't think it'll be for a pro person to use. But it's super light.
They use the heavy one, I think.
They use heavier rackets.
Yeah,
so,
the 315 will probably be the heavy one.
Yeah, 300 I don't think they would use. I think they use the heavier rackets.
For sure. Maybe the women.
Yeah, maybe the women.
Okay.
So.
All right. So I got my buddy Jerry here, and he's tried out pretty much the whole line of Tenx's today. You're telling me you like which one?
I like the Excalibur, the 315 ounce.
315 gram.
Gram out racket.
Okay.
Yeah.
So you like? Was it something like this one?
Yeah.
Not in the long.
Not in the long, just a regular length one.
Okay.
So,
Why?
Well, it just feels a little more stable for me and more balanced.
Okay.
Because I tried the other one with the red head.
Uh-huh.
That one was okay, but for me, hitting through the air, it was a little bit lagging. It was a little heavy for me.
On the red ones.
On the red ones.
I see.
Yeah,
so this was cutting through the air a little faster?
Yes.
Oh.
Yes. So I mean, I play with 100, but this is a 98, but I like it.
Okay.
Yeah, this is cool.
And you use Angel rackets?
Yes. I use Angel rackets.
So Mr. Customization over here, okay?
Yeah.
He's Mr. Pro Stock.
Yeah, but this I like this one. This is I would say of all the ones, I think for me this is good.
Okay.
Yeah.
Would this be an Angel for you?
Yeah. I think so. I think I would probably go with this one more than the Angel.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah. So,
Jerry liking this more than
I like
the Angel.
Like this
Okay.
one.
All right, so I got Coach Chris Redbeard here. Which one did you like and why?
So for the Tenx that I tried out, I tried them all out, but the one I loved was the Excalibur. And it's the 315 grams plus or minus 5. 98 head. This is actually the most control racket I found out of all of them. And honestly, for me, my game needs control. So this was awesome. I was able to fully hit out, hit long, hard strokes, and ball was staying in the court. And it was actually going through the stroke really nicely. So yeah, really loved this racket. Nice, stable body, good flow on the swing production. Yeah, nothing really bad I can say. Not super stiff, had some flex to it.
What level of player would you think this racket would be suited for?
I would say definitely someone with full long strokes. So definitely like 4 or 5 plus, 5-0. Someone with a nice developed stroke, basically.
If I told you that these were like pro stock level rackets for like pro players, would you believe me?
Almost. Yeah.
Coach Jerod was one of the ones that kept saying yellow string too. So just so you know, this is Hex. This is their own string too.
Love it.
That might be why you like it, but give us your words.
Yeah, so I think out of all the rackets we tried, definitely you can tell the ones with the red paint job on the top were more of like that pure drive tweener style racket. So you can expect a ton of pop, 100 square inch head size. Definitely have to kind of hold the swing back, at least for myself, just because I can't really swing out with 100 square inch head sizes these days. So I gravitated more towards the all black rackets, which were, I think these are all 98 head size,
correct,
right? So all 98 square inch head size, you can expect more control. Obviously the 315 grams are going to have more heft, whereas the 305 and 307 I think are a little bit lighter. So I just constantly had myself gravitating towards the yellow string one, mostly because this one just had the most stability, but at the same time just fit my swing pattern. So I think there's a lot of heft towards probably the top of the racket again. So I was able to finish my swing a lot better than the other frames. At the same time, like Harry mentioned, I think there's something with the string itself that just kept every single one of my shots in. So I was able to kind of just swing out, kind of just hit any shot that I was confident with, and I was kind of expecting the ball to drop, which it did. The other thing too is it's kind of like, these do remind me of Don A rackets. So I used to try out a Don A racket a couple years back, and it's very similar in the frame. But one thing I'll say is that these are a lot more stable and a lot more heftier. So you can expect the racket to help you through with most of the shots, and anything that comes hard at you, just stick the racket out, it'll do the work for you. So yeah, these 10X rackets were fun to hit with, and again, I'm gravitating personally towards those 98 square inch head size rackets, but if you guys are out in the market for anything different, give these a shot.
So these are called the Excaliburs. This is in the black line. And if I told you these were made after like pro stock level rackets, would you believe me?
So initially, if I looked at it, I would say no. But after hitting with it, I would say yes. You can definitely feel that these are a lot different than the traditional off the rack rackets. So I think when I was talking to Buddy, he mentioned having a lot of carbon layer on these frames.
Correct.
So I think that gives the racket a lot more feel, but at the same time, it's not super stiff. Because I know if you add carbon to a frame, sometimes the RA gets jacked up like crazy. But these ones are super plush and also super soft, and so far I haven't had any arm issues. So.
Yep, so there's extra layers in these for stability and kind of a solidness of feel. That's usually what we think of in old school rackets, like a Pro Tour 280 or Prestige from back in the day.
I was about to say this is like a mixture of like a Prestige and like a Blade in a way, kind of. So it's like a mixture between both, and just has that. It's just the heft. I just love the heft. That's the biggest thing with these things.
So pro level player type of a racket.
Yes.
Who would you say this was meant for?
I would say, so anything that's like the 315 gram range and above, definitely more for like the intermediate to advanced level players. I just think it's a lot of racket to swing. Anything that's kind of towards like the 305, 307 kind of range, I think anyone below that can try them out. And if you're looking for that free power, I think the red sticks are probably the ones to go with. So those are more for recreational, and Again, the 315s can be a little more for advanced players, but this one specifically, I'd say more for intermediate to advanced for this yellow one since it's 315.
Got it.
So yeah, it's pretty much like a wide range of players and fits everyone at some point.
Okay. Thank you, Coach Jerod. Coach Chris has already tried this with me once before, but since we have everything lined up with all the different weights, everybody seems to like the one with the yellow strings. I kept hearing the yellow strings, the yellow strings. So tell me, it's Excalibur 315, right?
Yep, 315.
Okay. 1619.
Yep, 16.
What was it about this one?
So it's really easy to play with. Immediately after, swinging a couple times, I didn't really have to adjust as much compared to the other ones. I think the other ones, the heavier lines of this was a really good kind of racket that pick up and play right away. I would say this, if you're playing with this racket, it will remind you kind of a blade. If you really like to kind of start the swing early and just let it go, this does the job. It's good plow through, good feel too, and it's actually softer, I think, on the arm compared to the blade. So if you're in those long rallies, this is something that isn't really going to affect you on the 20-30 ball rallies. In terms of the weight, it's a little bit more towards the head, just kind of how like a blade is, and definitely would recommend this for those pro players who are looking for something a little bit softer on the arm, but just as powerful. Really have to, with good control too, you really have to drive with this racket to kind of get it to do what it's wants. So yeah.
So Buddy just mentioned something to me. He said this string is hex touch.
Okay.
So it is a sided string that's pretty soft.
Yeah.
So maybe that has something to do with the overall feel of the racket.
Yeah. I would say even without the string, like this type of string, the frame itself is really easy to kind of for anyone who's hitting the ball, playing tournaments. This would be a really easy racket to kind of play and pick up right away. So
okay, pro level racket.
Yeah, I would say you could give the blade for those who are not as satisfied with what it is right now. This would be a good one to kind of pick up and try out. So
very satisfying.
Very satisfying.
All right, my man Dan, the science man, was on the court today. Oh, it was nice to see him on the court.
It's my debut on the court.
That's true.
Do you know how many times I had to ask?
Just a couple hundred.
Nah.
Just kidding. So Dan, which one did you like the most and why?
Well, first of all, I'm hitting with these guys that are like 20 times better than me. So the first problem is even trying to figure out which way is up. The second was I didn't get a lot of time with all the different rackets. I did grab this one with the yellow strings, and I needed some power to hit with these big players. And so this really delivered. It was solid. It's firm. It's not mushy. It's got nice feel. But it's got enough plow through. My guess is its swing weight probably in the 328, 330 range. It probably weighs 335 strong is my guess.
Right.
So it's got some nice mass to it. You can really get behind the ball and make this racket hit some good shots.
So Dan liked the 315, 16, 19 with the yellow string too. So that's 3 for this one.
What's the string?
It's hex. It's their own string.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
It played a little bit like a Poly Tour Pro a little bit. Mm-hmm. Yeah, nice kind of medium.
Probably very similar.
Very similar. Yeah. So this is a really well made racket. It kind of reminds me a little bit of maybe a Blade or or even my Radical MP, but it's got this nice kind of a rectangular beam. It's a pretty narrow beam, which I like. It makes it more maneuverable.
Right.
So you can take that weight and move it around. It's a really nice, clean, simple design. They don't waste a lot of time or energy on little details that don't mean anything. Mm-hmm. So I like the clean look. This would look good in a clear coat.
Let's see if we can get one from Buddy.
Yeah.
So full flex. Okay.
Yeah.
Any Regna characteristics?
I wouldn't compare it to the Regna just because it's got a consistent flex across the racket. The Regna has more kind of flex down here. It has more of a catapult feel to it. This is more of a solid uniform flex feel, so it doesn't have that that kind of weird, interesting, strange, wonderful effect. But it's kind of more predictable. You kind of know what it's going to do when you take it back to hit it.
Okay. Predictability is great. My man Dan likes the Excalibur. Thank you for making your debut.
It's my pleasure. You know, I've been talking a lot of tennis for a long time on your videos, and I'm sure the viewers wondered, like, can this guy even hit a tennis ball? And so I told them if they didn't like it, they can edit me out. But you might.
We wouldn't do that.
But if you're lucky, you might be able to see me hit a couple of shots. The crummy ones you can edit out. The crummy ones I missed, but I hit like 3 good shots in the last hour. I want to see those. Thank you.
All right. So that was our demo day here. I want to thank my friends at Tenx. I want to thank Buddy for coming out. He's over there. He doesn't want to be seen, but that's okay. We still love him. And I want to thank Marin Tennis Club for hosting, and my man Jerod for taking care of the reservations. Thank you for watching Tennis Spin, where we put our spin on your tennis. Coach Rob, it's a little cold.
I'm freezing, Harry. Keep moving your feet.
And it's dark. Ooh, I can't barely see.
Then you better not miss, Harry, because then you're going to get colder.
Here we go. Ooh. Ooh, gosh. All right, do you want that pro? That will make you play in the dark, make you play in the freezing cold, not let you give up on your tennis. Well, I got my Coach Rob. You can get your Coach Rob at Play Your Court. You can find over 27,000 players out there, coaches and playing partners, all at playyourcourt.com.